Today I'm going to commentate the most popular video on my channel. What makes it so popular? Well, it's got Sonic in it. Everyone loves Sonic. Fun fact that nearly everyone knows by now, this was the first appearance by the little blue hedgehog. He didn't even have a name by then. We're rolling around at the speed of sound, we've got places to go, we've got to follow a rainbow, but there's no one around to sing that just yet. It's still 1990. This was the first game released on Sega's System 32 hardware, their last 2D based hardware before Model 1 would come out nearly 2 years later and would change Sega Arcade forever. But till then, we're still using the wonderful thing that is a super scaler. The goal is simple, LA to New York as quickly as possible, and since it's GDQ season, I'm going to do it in about 10 minutes. But before the magic, we have to get to state lines completely normally. There it is, all crimes are forgiven if TV is to be believed, and this is the inspiration for the desert level of Mario Kart 64. I braked a little, and then magically I went through unscathed. Now imagine playing the original Outrun and having oncoming traffic. Thankfully the hitboxes are incredibly questionable, like we're playing a shmup here, but despite the car taking up half a lane, I'm coming through without a scratch. I actually played this in the arcade back in the day, the stand-up version that is. Not only was Super Scaler making leaps and bounds, but there was another element which was pushing the envelope of what video games could do. There were extra buttons. What do you need in Las Vegas more than anything else? You need to turn your lights on, of course. It's a very dark city, very mindful of its energy consumption, but we only have 2 extra buttons for lights, and later on we'll need our windscreen wipers. Sega will continue their innovation on extra buttons with virtual racing coming up to 4. It is a race, we have rivals, 2 of them coming up. Think of it like Gumball Rally or Cannonball Run, just without the shenanigans. Except of course the out of bounds trick that I'm about to pull off. This is very technical. I will need to clip through the barrier at just the right angle for this to work. This is for experts only. Right, here we go. Wish me luck. It's very hard to tell what the right place is, and oof, first try there. If we didn't pull off that trick, like a Metroid Prime speedrun, you might as well not bother and just reset. We call that the Utah skip because we just skipped Utah. It took the community weeks to name that. Horrible conditions for the Cheyenne Mountain, need my wipers, and what better place though to put our $100,000 plus sports car through its paces. Gravel tracks, rocky surroundings, it's okay, I have insurance. And here comes the scariest corner, rather sharp 90-degree right turn. Lost 2 places, but a rival had it worse. Up to 5th place, and that's going to cause some damage to my premiums, and that as well because my suspension is not great. And oh no, it's the police. Why here? Why now? I can't afford any big moments, otherwise I'm done for. Did I mention that what I'm doing is not exactly legal? And there goes another rival in what looked like a Ferrari. Oh well, there's someone for the police to arrest instead. Lincoln, Nebraska. And we're now in the night again, lights go on and we've got to use all the buttons. I was trying to look up Lincoln facts, apparently around here in the future, since we're still in 1990, they'd set the Patrick Swayze, Wesley Snipes and John Leguizamo drag queen film To Wong Fu, Thanks for Everything, Julie Newmar. During that speech though, I lost a place or 2. It's okay, America is a big place, over 1,000 miles, nearly 2,000 kilometers until New York. We have 7 minutes to do that in. But we have 2 rivals in the distance, so you couldn't get too far ahead despite my incompetence. I'm capturing this footage off an Astro City Mini, the mini console released by Sega a few years ago, so I'm using a D-pad, which is a bit dodgy for maneuvering. But we're almost up to 4th, and now for my next magic trick. Can I go 2 for 2? Yes, I can. Unfortunately, my rival followed me in my cheating ways, but he didn't know how to handle the sheer craziness of being out of bounds. Time to break out your favourite Sufjan Stevens album, because we're in Springfield, Illinois. The Iowa skip was a success, but unfortunately we're at the end of the road and we have a new competitor that has entered the fray. The rival knows what's coming and he sped off. How can we compete against multi-track drifting? Well, quite easily, since there's just one track. I know I'm English, so I can't really knock other countries' rail systems, but this is the state capital here. We can have more than one track. However, this was 1990, much has changed in Illinois, as we'll see in the next stage. Again, several years later, and clearly was fiction, but Source Code was a movie based on a train going into Chicago. So I left the tracks behind and carrying on my journey. Alright, America, what have you got next for me? The best song on the album, of course, also speaks about them driving to New York, so it's weirdly relevant. And here is the windy city, filled with silos, perfect for blocking out the extremely blustery days. Did you know they would film the bear inside one of the silos in Chicago? It'd be used as a set for the restaurant itself, but those silos are set for demolition. I'm not sure how many, if any, will be left in Chicago. And I hate this part, but if you want a safer version of it, you can take a cruise of Lake Michigan. 16 days visiting all the highlights on the way. Ouch. Into my rival, but probably for the best with what's coming up. I did have to research because since I've never been there, a lot of this just makes no sense. There did used to be palm trees lining the beach in Chicago in the 90s. Again, not anymore it seems, and we're gone now. Last out of bounds, can we do it? Yes! And the rival has gone the other way, the sucker. Surely I'll be able to make up a place now. And we've skipped 3 rounds. Pittsburgh. I'm torn on this. I'm replaying Last of Us at the moment, so I clearly don't have fond memories of this place. However, I really do like penguins. Did you know that penguins poop on average every 8 minutes? Think about that next time you want to take too long on Super Mario 64. And come on, I barely touched him. But it's absolutely critical though I drive without incident because the timer is becoming ever more important. And of these twists and turns, I find myself increasingly having only one lane available to me. Not my rival though, they're able to pass off incredible things, it's fine though. They have one more in my sights, and I really don't like this stage. Review said at the time that they thought the gameplay wasn't there for this, and while I can agree to an extent, this is still tense if you're wanting a 1cc. A little bit of fog out there in the nation's capital. We're ignoring all the places that the singing rolled up white piece of paper told us about and sticking to the coast. Ouch! That was not nice of that not Ferrari. It didn't impact me too much though. However, this also apparently inspired Mario Kart 64 for rubber banding as well. How are these people catching up to me? I was channeling my inner Dick Dastardly with all this cheating. They're all lining up though. How many are there? 4? Maybe 5? Maybe I can take them on the next stage. And this is why I have all the respect in the world for the likes of Verstappen and Hamilton, the drivers that can just storm through a field when they're out of position, because I've gained no places whatsoever. For all the monuments we've missed in Washington, we're making up for it here in Philly. I don't know what these places are though. Looks important there. Google is not helping me, neither is TripAdvisor. Where is the Rocky statue? Where is the Liberty Bell? Where is the cheesesteak? It doesn't matter anymore, we've gone into the forest, so now we can't see anything. And yet I'm still expected to pass things at 100 miles an hour. You do you, game, you do you. But I'm on the podium, the illegal underground podium, and that again has attracted the attention of the cops. I'm 80% sure that that is the Philadelphia Museum of Art in front of us. What do you think, Sonic? No, he doesn't speak yet. Less than 10 seconds, come on, I didn't realise Philadelphia had so much greenery, and all of this greenery is leading us to the final stage. You realise how old this is when you see the Twin Towers being the first major landmark we encounter, even before the Statue of Liberty. I've got one place left to make up, but thankfully these roads are very wide, and we've come to the one day in existence that there's barely any traffic on New York roads. So who am I going to smash into to ruin this wonderful moment? And out of the tunnel we go, and oh no, the cops are lining there, and our illegal street race has put out all the stops for our arrival. We're twisting, we're turning, come on now, timer be damned, I just want that number 1. And yes, now just to hold on to it. I thought New York was different. Has Spider-Man lied to me? Doesn't matter, the finishing line, I can smell it. Not much time left, but there is the finish line coming up. And less than 9 minutes it took for me to go coast to coast. Second place, just a few seconds behind. Am I being arrested for my troubles? No, this is the early 90s, silly. He blows up to reveal a bikini model. The game will eventually chastise me for cheating, but I was too fast for the message, and I'm too fast for this game. Don't hate the player, as they say. There are actually different endings, and there is a true ending if I do all of the stages, but I leave that kind of stuff for hardcore Darius players, and those that can speak for more than 10 minutes without collapsing. That is the end of the game. Thank you very much for stopping by. Until the next time, bye now.